So I'm going to start off with showing you the dashboard. So your dashboard will show a graph of your earned revenue, your cash flow, the amount of orders you've received, as well as the amount of reviews you've received. And this will span across months. You'll notice up here, there will be different colors for different years. And if you scroll down here, you'll be able to see a calendar. And this calendar will give you a visual look into what deliveries or pickups are within that same month. So basically, if there is a order, you'll be able to see that order as a little slot down here. And if you click on it, you'll be able to basically edit that order or do whatever you'll need to that order. This is just to give you a visual view of what your month would look like. If you go under partially paid, this is where you'll see a list of all clients who have put down their down payments but haven't necessarily paid it in full. And so whenever the day comes, earlier, we put in our account settings how many days we require for clients to fully pay off their dues prior to delivery or pickup. On that specific day, there will automatically be sent a message saying that their payment is due and that they'll need to pay in full prior to their delivery. If you go next to that, this would just be a list of your customer pickups. And if you go next to that, that will just be a list of your customer returns. And like with your calendar, basically every single order under these different catalogs will be able to be edited. If you go under orders and you look at lookup order, let's say you're on a phone with someone and you want them to give you the order number so you could just quickly search that up. All you have to do is type in your order number, click lookup, and then you'll be able to pull up that order to edit or however you see fit. Now, you can also do the same thing by looking up customers as well. So if you have your customer name, this is where your customers will fully populate under. If they've gone back to you and shopped with you, their information will automatically be saved, or you could also create their customer profile. But basically, if you're on the phone with a customer and you know their name, you could just type in their name right here. It will show up right here whenever you search them up. And then once you click edit, you'll be able to edit onto any of their orders in the past or in the present. Now, before I fully go on to manage customers, I want to show you manage orders. Here on the top, you'll see a graph, and the graphs will show your total open estimates value. And what this is it's just the value of the quotes that you have opened. So these are quotes that haven't necessarily closed, but this is just the total dollar amount of their value. Next to that is total open quotes. So this is just the number amount of how many quotes you haven't closed. This is total reserved orders. So basically orders who have closed. And this is your conversions percentage. So how much are you actually converting quotes into actual sales? If you scroll down here, you'll be able to see all estimates. So this would be every single estimate that is coming in. Next to that, you'll see contracts not sent, and this is for orders that basically have not been sent a contract, so you're able to just quickly send it out to them, or you could also look at contracts not signed. Contracts not signed basically means that the contract has been sent, but the clients have not signed it. And yes, you can create a contract within each order, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. And lastly is your reserved orders, so basically your total amount of closed orders in sales. Now, just like earlier, you'll be able to edit any order that you see on any of these tabs. This is just so that it is easier for you to manage contracts and reserved orders. If you go manage customers, this is actually where you would put in a quote from the back end. Here, like I said, if you go down here, you'll be able to see all of your customers. If you go into companies, you'll be able to see your business customers. And if you go into planners, this would be where your event planners are at. Now, since we currently don't have any customers under there, the only way you're able to add a order on the back end is through their customer profile. So one, you could either edit it down here, or two, you could create a new one in order to add their order. So once you hit that plus button, all you have to do is put in their customer profile. I am going to be using a tester right now, just so that everything is easier to manage. Now, are they an event planner? Yes or no? I'm going to put no. Are they tax exempt? Yes or no? You want to make sure that the status is active. And your source is basically where your customer is coming to you from. You could always ask this on the phone, or if you don't know, you could just put other. But for now, I'll just put Google Ads. And I will say this is important just because you want to make sure that whatever marketing dollars you are spending or advertising dollars you are spending, you want to make sure that it is working. So this will just give you a better look at where these clients are coming from, so you will know where you would invest more in. Now, once you click something, you'll add the customer by clicking Create a Customer. Here you'll be able to see the customer's lifetime value, so how much they've spent with you in the totality of them just ordering with you. Here you'll be able to see a send a text message button. So you'll be able to send a text message straight to them from their customer profile. If you scroll down here, this is where you'll notice these 5 tabs. And you don't really have to worry about changelog history or website history. Changelog history is basically just what have you changed inside this customer profile in the history of the changelog. So let's say you added a store credit or something, it will show up here. Website history is basically just showing what date the client is going into your website from, what browser they're using, and so forth. Now for store credit, this is how you'll be able to add credit to this client. Basically, our website saves the client's information, so what they put in terms of their name, their email, and their phone number, as well as their IP address, to ensure that we're able to save this customer's profile every single time when they go onto the website. If you add store credits, it will automatically be applied to them, and you don't have to worry about not being able to adhere the store credit to them just because, they don't have an account or something, because we don't require clients to make an account with us. The point is that basically we track their IP address as well as their information just to make sure that everything aligns. So they'll be able to use this the next time if they would like. Here you would put in the dollar amount that you are wanting to give them store credit for. You could give them a reason, and then you could select yes or no if you want to send them an email notification of the store credit. Once you add the credit, you'll just hit this button right here and it will be applied to them. Under call history, this is where you'll be able to see every single call recording that you have with this customer. You'll be able to play the recording over here. It'll tell you who the customer is, how long the call was, from what time to what time did the call last, as well as the date of the call. Now, this is typically useful for whenever clients dispute certain items. Maybe they say that you didn't mention something inside of your contract when you were talking to them. You could pull up the recording and verify if that is true or not. Or if you have sales representatives, this would be helpful to listen back to recordings and see how you could improve their sales calls. Now, the most important part is their orders. This is where you'll be able to see the customer's order history. So every single order that they've placed with your company, it will be listed here. This is also where you'll be able to add quotes on the back end. So to do that, you'll just hit this plus button right here. Their customer details will already be automatically populated. Click some of these items, like delivery date or pickup date if they're picking up instead of delivering, delivery start time to end time. And this is basically just a range. It is not a set amount that you are promising the client that you'll be there in. So the range is 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the customer may receive their orders anytime from that time frame. Here you'll be able to put the event start time, the pickup start time, the pickup end time as well. What is the event type? Does it require a bifold table? Yes or no? Do you need to set up? Yes or no? Your building type as well. For apartments, they will be charged an apartment fee if you've placed an apartment fee in the pricing settings. And like I've mentioned during the pricing settings, basically all of these fees could be changed whenever you're putting in orders on the back end. Now, I know we've set a price for this on the pricing settings. However, that pricing is just for clients who put in orders on the front end. While those can still be edited later, it will automatically already set these fees for them. However, if you're doing it on the back end, and you're getting calls, this makes it easier for you to customize your orders. If you don't have a set setup fee, if you don't have a set after hours fee or whatever, that could be applied based on the certain circumstances that your client is requiring for you to service them for. Here you'll be able to see the status. Is it reserved yet? Is it already delivered? Maybe it's already completed. Here's the payment status. If you're on the phone, maybe they want to pay in full or pay partially, you could select that here. Here you could also put delivery options if this is a delivery or customer pickup. Here is if you allow payments, yes or no. Obviously, keep this at yes. There is a set deposit amount in your pricing settings. However, you could always change this if you're doing it on the back end. Here is to assign a vehicle. If you would like to assign a vehicle to the specific order, typically that would be done under scheduled delivery or scheduled pickup, though it is just easier to be able to see every single order you have and assign deliveries that way rather than assigning based on whenever you receive the quote. However, this is an option. Here you have drop-off area, the service time, so how long of an estimate it would take to basically set up the items if necessary. Here is it available for customer pickup? Is there a location available? Currently for this website, we have selected that no, customer pickup is not allowed, and so that's why it says NA right here. Then you'll just put in your delivery address, as well as your delivery suite if there's any, as well as your pickup address as well. Now, here you'll be able to see kind of a drop-down option. I'll show you how that should look like. It should look like this right here if you currently have your categories and your inventory already in place, where you'll be able to basically open up this content and then select how much amount of each item you'd like to be placed into the order. However, currently, this website does not have any categories or items placed in here, so there's no option to put X amount of items on this order. So for now, I'll just hit create order. Okay, first thing you'll notice right here is customer has not been contacted, and you'll have the option to mark it as contacted. So an important thing you'll need to know is that whenever you're putting in quotes on the back end of your website, your customer will not automatically be emailed their quote or their invoice to pay. And the reason why is typically when people are going into Rent More Pro, they may be coming from another website software. So this is just to ensure that, let's say on your previous website software, you had orders ranging, maybe even months away from now. Well, this is just to allow for you to be able to add these orders onto your new software without notifying these customers, because now they may be confused if they get these random notifications of a order they've placed months ago. That's just a heads up. However, you can easily contact the client through here, as well as easily send the invoice through here. And I'll show you how to do that. If you scroll down, here you'll be able to see the receipt. So basically all of the items they've ordered, how much that they've ordered, the price of that quantity for those items, and then the total cost with all of the fees. If you scroll down, this is where you'll be able to send messages. So you could send emails, messages, or both. And you could select that option right here. You could put in the subject as well as the body of the message. And once you send the message, you'll be able to see the history of your correspondence with this client down here. Since we do want a quote or an invoice to be sent to the client, all you have to do is scroll up. You'll see there is this order number right here. All you have to do is open it up. And this is their quote/invoice form. They'll be able to see their full customer details. You could even print this off if you wanted. You'll have the event details, their receipt, as well as the policies that you have in place for them. Now down here, you won't be able to see it right now just because we haven't set up any payment options, but basically down here you'll be able to see a button for clients to have the option to pay off this order. Now, let's say, and when I say pay off, I mean pay off using their credit card. You can have them pay separately right here if there are other forms of payment like cash, check, QuickBook, money order, or Zelle. You can put the transaction number in here as well as the amount paid, and you'll be able to see the payment history down here. However, let's say that the customer is card ready and they basically just want to read off a card to you rather than paying using these different payment options. All you really have to do is just open up their order link and then pay for them right here. Obviously, they could do that on their end if they want. However, typically you do have older clients that may not be able to do that. So that's all you would have to do on your end if this is the case. But yeah, all you have to do is basically copy this link and then in your messages say that here is your invoice or here's your quote, please pay here, and then send the message and they'll receive it. Now, if you scroll down past the payments, you'll be able to see the rental agreement status, and this is your contract. So I did mention that we do partner with esignatures.io, and the cool thing about that is you're able to quickly send contracts through our system without having to manually go into that contract and edit everything prior to sending it out. With the contract, I will send you the short codes that we use, and these short codes will basically automatically populate the client's information into the contract. So whenever you hit create contract, the contract will automatically just be sent out with their information. Here, you could choose if you want to send as a text or an email or both if you would like. And if you scroll down after this, you could also add store credits this way. However, this is primarily for this order. If you would like to add store credits for their order in total or for this client's profile in totality, I would recommend just going under the store credits tab that I showed earlier. Here is your notes where you'll be able to show notes for specific team members. So let's say that you have a delivery and the client told you on the phone they had very specific instructions on how that delivery should be done. You could put the note right here and it will show to your team members, and all notes added onto here will only be visible to your team members, so you don't have to worry about your clients being able to see this. Once you're done, you'll just hit add note. Below here is just the change log, so it's just showing you what has been changed on this order for the history that it's been created. Alright, now if you go back, you'll also be able to see now that the customer order has populated under this tab right here, and you'll also be able to access the link through here as well. So let's say that I just contacted this customer. Now all you have to do is mark contacted, and now you'll no longer be notified that you need to contact this customer because now the customer has already been contacted. Now onto the next tab, which is your manage inventory. So your manage inventory is something that I would say is very important. This is a category that you really need to be as accurate as possible on. So up here you'll be able to see your total inventory value, and above that you'll be able to see, if you have categories, you'll be able to see the total inventory value of each category you currently have. Now here, your list will be separated by amount, number demanded, as well as number rented. Amount just means the total that you've spent on that specific inventory item. Number rented is just how many people have rented this item. And number demanded is basically after this item has been completely booked out, it's no longer in inventory, how much people are still demanding this item. And one cool thing about this software is that our software does not allow for clients to overbook or double book your items. So basically the software is able to calculate when orders are coming out and when orders are coming back in order to see if you have enough inventory items to service other orders. And if you are out of that inventory item, basically whenever the client fills out their quote, they'll be notified that that inventory item is no longer available. And so then they'll be added under the number demanded. And you could separate the listings by selecting amounts, demanded or rented, and it will reorganize the list. Now, to add on to your category, all you have to do is click Add Category, add the category name. You don't really have to mess with this just because it automatically already populates into here. All you'll have to make sure that you don't do is, since there is already a underscore rentals on your item URL, make sure you don't put that as well. Because what this does is it will basically make the front end of your website for this specific category item blank, just because everything isn't functioning as it should. So just make sure if it's test right here, it's test over here. Here you'll be able to put the subtitle of your category. You'll be able to choose if you want to update each orders for this category or not. Typically, you don't really have to worry about this just because it is a new category and clients haven't already have seen it. So there's no need to update any orders with this category. Here you'll be able to see your catalog if you want it to show on your catalog, yes or no, as well as if you want it to show on your quotes, yes or no. And the reason why we give you the option of both a catalog and a quote in terms of having it show is because sometimes for specific items, you may want clients to contact you instead. For example, linens. You might want to show that, yes, you do have linens on your website. However, you might not want clients to be able to order these linens through the quote. And sometimes the reason why is maybe, for clients, most of the times people are willing to just purchase additional linens if needed for specific clients, just because linens are so much cheaper than other inventory items and you could always reuse them in the future. This is just something to keep in mind of. This is just to make sure that the client will call you and talk about it instead so you could meet their needs rather than having them do it completely through their quote. And this is only if it's needed, like if you still have linens and you would like for them to be able to select the linens on your front end as well as the quote, that's completely fine. You could do that as well. This was just an example. Now for the description, you just put the description and then you'll upload your category image. I will say I do recommend for most people, or basically for everyone, to upload a category image because if you go right here, this is what the category image would look like. Now some people may have a list showing your full inventory items and some people may have the category view. This is based on your preference, but if it's the category view, please make sure that you have a photo up because this is where it will show. And if you click on it, it will show as a banner as well. So that's just a heads up. Now, everything that you've put up here, you'll have to copy and paste down here into the meta tags. And this is just to make sure that everything is functioning well on the front and the back end. Here, you just put, this is a category, so we'll select category. If this is an inventory item that you're putting in, you could put product, or if this is a blog post, you would put post. But since it's a category, we'll just hit category. You'll put the image right here as well, and you'll notice the URL is already automatically placed here. Once you're done, you'll just hit create category. Now you'll be able to see your category information. How much total active inventory items do you have under this category, as well as what is your total category sales. If you scroll down, you'll be able to notice subcategories, which you'll be able to create categories underneath your current category. You'll be able to see inventory items as well as Metroplex inventory. What Metroplex inventory is it just allows you, if you have multiple locations, to basically manage your categories and your inventory items separately rather than having it shared together. Under inventory items, this is where you would add your inventory items by clicking the plus button. And here you'll just put your item name, your item quantity, and this is where I'm saying that it is very important that you're being as accurate as possible. As I mentioned, clients are not able to double book. So what that means is if you have put in less item quantities than you actually have inside of your inventory, these items will basically be sitting in your inventory forever because clients won't be able to book those items since you did put on the website that you are a bit short on those items. Now, let's say you overestimated your item quantity and put more than you actually have inside of your inventory. This will basically make it so that clients are able to book even after those items have ran out. And sometimes this could be difficult if you're not able to meet those client needs. So that's just something to keep in mind. However, let's say you're completely okay with sub-renting from other event rental companies and you actually have a contract as a sub-renter with another company. Then you may put your inventory item quantity a little bit higher just so that you're able to still sub-rent if needed. Right here is your item day rate, and this is where you'll be able to put how much you're charging for this item. Here you'll be able to put the item wholesale price, so how much you bought the item for, and this is what will be used to calculate your item inventory value. Here you'll be able to also add on your item image. So if you go over to LA Rentals, this is our demo site, and you look at these images, this would basically be the cover image. Now you are able to add as many additional images as you would like under this, as long as they're under 5 megabytes and they are in JPEG or PNG format, you'll be able to add them. However, if they're WebP or AVIF, you'll have to transfer over the format to PNG or JPEG. Here you'll add on the item description, so this will show on here. This would be the description. Here you'll also be able to put the details of that item, so item material, item depth, width, height, seated height, whatever. If you go under item vehicle fit, this is where you'll be able to put how that item fits within a vehicle. This is mostly for customers to reference. So let's say they want to pick up the item at your place. This will basically make sure that the item will be able to fit inside of their vehicle. Here you'll select if the item needs setting up or not. You'll be able to select if the item is available for pickup or not. And lastly, if it needs to be prepared or cleaned. Now, prepared or cleaned will not be shown to your clients. It will basically mostly be shown for your workers. If they need to prepare the item for, let's say, for linens. For linens, you'll need to wash, dry, iron, and maybe even bag if that's what your process is. Whilst for cleaning, it's for a simpler process, like for tables and chairs, where you're just spraying everything down and wiping it off. Here, you'll do exactly the same as I mentioned earlier in the meta tags. You'll just copy everything up here and paste it down here. Next is your manage bundles. So you are able to create bundles on here. All you have to do is click create a bundle. Here you'll put the bundle name, the bundle URL, the bundle price, and the bundle image. Down here you'll be able to add as many items as you would like inside of this bundle. Now we don't have any inventory items available to select just because we currently don't have any inventory items set up for this website. Here you'll be able to put the quantity amount of how much of that item you would like to be put into this bundle. And here you'll be able to see the price for that item, for that quantity at X price. The reason why we put the price over here is so if you would like, you could add all the prices together and see the total value of this bundle without any adjustments. However, if you would like to give a slight discounted adjustment for bundles, you could always make that adjustment on your calculator and then put the price right here. The one important thing you'll have to remember is the category. You'll want to make sure that it's under the correct category. So if you go over to our demo site and you go under tents, you'll notice that there are bundles under tents, and these are because these specific tent setups have other items in it. Now let's say it's not for tents, and let's say you're doing a table setup instead with tables, linens, dinerware, and stuff like that. You'll basically just put that under tables instead of tents. And so you just want to make sure that whatever category you select is actually accurate with what the bundle is. If you go under reports, this is where you'll be able to see all of the reports. If you go under settings, this is where you'll be able to place your delivery settings. We currently now have 3 settings since we just updated this one, but there is price per mile, price by zip code, as well as price by mile range. If you go under availability settings, this is where you'll be able to block off specific dates in which you won't be operating. So right here, we currently already have holidays set out for you. They're all currently on draft, so this means they're not active and they will not be actively implemented unless you change the status. So let's say you don't want to have any deliveries or any pickups during Christmas because you will be celebrating with your family. You'll just hit this edit button, change the status from draft to active, and then hit save changes. Then this will automatically block these dates off for you. Now, if you do go on vacation or anything like that, you can make custom blocked dates. All you have to do is go to custom, hit this plus button, put the reason why for this blocked off date, and then you could select the range in which your dates will be blocked off. And you'll need to make sure that the status is active so that it's actively implemented, and then you'll just hit save. Here, you'll be able to create users. You'll just hit this plus button. You'll put the user's full name, their email, and their password. You'll also be able to put in their role, and this will either give them a full access or a limited access of the website. And then once you're done, you'll hit create user, and they'll be able to log on to this website using these credentials. All right, now under manage policies, if you have any policies that you would like to add on other than your delivery policy and your refund policy, you'll just add that policy right here with the policy title, the URL, as well as the body. If you go to your coupon codes, you'll be able to create coupon codes over here. Now, if you go under schedules, this is where most of your employees will be working under. For warehouse employees, that would be mostly clean and prepare, as well as will call pickups and will call returns. Here, they'll be able to see a list of every single item that they'll need to prepare and clean, and what order it's for and when that order is due. For delivery drivers, they'll mostly be functioning under delivery and pickups. And here they'll be able to see their full order details of every single order that they have for that day or for that week. They'll also be able to see what items are in that order, any special notes the client might have, the client's information, as well as the address. And they'll be able to choose the option whenever they arrive to click arrive, and whenever they're done dropping off or setting up to hit done. And this will basically be put into your reports, and so you'll be able to see how long your delivery drivers actually take to drop something off or to set something up. And the reason why this may be important is if you have items that require servicing, like tents, knowing how long it takes for them to set up will actually help you price that item. And so that's just something to keep in mind. Here is your scheduled delivery and scheduled pickup. You'll be able to schedule your deliveries and pickups over here. You'll be able to assign certain drivers to certain deliveries, and they'll only be able to see those specific deliveries. So that's just something to keep in mind. Under support, you'll be able to see your call dashboard, your text dashboard, your email dashboard, as well as your live chat dashboard to see basically the discussions that you've had with your clients.